Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions and complaints at wrestlingisHard@gmail.com. I am Jim. Brandon, congratulations. Go Birds. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. We are going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
2 weeks
How much
away.
you make? How much you make on Sunday?
Well, I was telling you a couple weeks ago, I had a feeling they were going to destroy the Giants, so I just put $10 on like the most insane line offered on DraftKings to win. I won $300 doing that, and then I'm rolling that 300 through to the Super Bowl. So we're at 600 now. About we're going to go one more time, which is kind of insane. It's one of the biggest bets I've ever placed. I did it instinctually right after the game, like fuck it, we're doing this. Then I was looking at it today, and I was like, oh, geez, do I want to? I'm not sure I want to put $600 on this, but yeah, I'm not taking it out.
I started. Let's see. When we went into the playoffs, I had like $35 in my account that I've been betting on the Eagles, and I now have $290 in my account.
Oh shit, let's go.
Right? Yeah. Fuck this. And I put a couple of bets down on the Super Bowl. Let's fucking do this.
Nobody cares, but I think this Eagles team's like legitimately one of the best football teams I've ever seen. So
they're pretty fucking good. They were real impressive against 49ers, and I thought that was going to be a lot tighter game than it was.
Yeah,
it didn't stop me from betting fucking Eagles giving 11 points though. I was like, fuck that, I'm taking that too. Let's go for a blowout in this one too. To hell with it.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah,
good times. Chris, thoughts?
No, I 100% agree. This is one of the best Eagles teams I've ever watched.
They're a lot of fun,
unbelievably good, and they're unbelievably, just so good all over. I thought I had a feeling that the Niners game was going to be a blowout, and I have a feeling that this Super Bowl.
They can score a lot of points though. I'm a little scared of this.
No, but here's the thing. This is
gambling wise.
Gambling wise is.
I think the Eagles are winning. I just don't.
Smoke City. I think it's Smoke City. But yeah, I told you guys, but I'll share with the listening audience that I didn't put any money on the game. All that happened to me was I got yelled at by some clown for calling Andy Reid Father of the Year on multiple occasions during the second game.
How many of his kids are dead or in jail?
Well, one kid's dead. His one kid's in jail. I don't know if he has any more.
Okay. I just wanted to check on his Father of the Year status.
But when your kid dies in the training facility because he's overdosed, you might want to back off from the job for a little bit. It's not like you don't got fucking money.
It's his Mormon. He's a Mormon. He's got other wives to take care of this.
Yeah.
Brandon, thoughts?
Also, if I may, if you hear any strange snoring, like what's going on right now, I don't know if you can hear it. We have a guest.
It's your child.
Yeah, child. Okay. Vito is with me, and he's farting his ass off and snoring his ass off right now. Now he's up. What's going on?
Hey, somebody called me talking about my farts.
Somebody said my name. I'm up.
Oh God, it smells like the bay. Whoa!
Is it just like hot eggs?
Is it just a little hot? Reticules in your magical ass. Oof. What's up, Brandon?
Is it just like hot egg?
Yeah, it's like straight hot egg. Now it smells like hot egg and bay funk.
Nice.
Yeah, like Wildwood Bay funk. Yeah,
the hot eggs from
Wildwood days. Smells like Wildwood days.
I had a blanket wrapped around them and I just let it out and it just all.
No!
Dutch oven myself.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at his face. He's like, "What the fuck? What you want from me?"
I don't care. I love him. He's such a good little boy.
Show him off for the YouTube audience.
Oh, that's shit at a bird. Hello, my name is Vito.
Going.
He's like a little. It's like I always say. You hear him. My wife will be looking for him. Where is he? What's he doing? I'm like, what's he doing? Hunting for truffles? Because he's just like. Sounds like a little pig.
So cute.
Oh, he's trying to get comfy. So
Eagles -20. Go for it. Have some fun.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Eagles -20. No, thank you.
I don't know. -11 was fun. I could have gone -20.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. A lot of fun. A couple good, from what I understand, from a friend of mine who has a has a concession down there. Quite a bit of comedic human entanglements, shall we say? And that mostly between Eagles fans. And
oh yeah, they all fight each other.
They all fight each other after the fact. And I had a couple Niners fans in the bar. I actually met there was an ex-Niner offensive lineman whose name is escaping me. Super Bowl champion, played with Young and played with Joe Montana. And and I looked him up. I can't think of his name now, but he big monster of a guy, and he
imagine.
He was like just talking shit. This was Saturday night. He came back Sunday after the game, but this was Saturday night. He's talking shit. He's busting everybody's balls. Got a chain around his neck with a giant like plastic 49ers logo on it that they're selling now for every team. And he leaves. And these guys are like, these young guys are talking shit after he leaves. It's like, fuck that asshole. Fuck him. Fuck him. I leaned in. I was like, that dude made a living blocking Lawrence Taylor. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Seriously.
Also, they had a lot to say when he left.
Oh God, and it's a shame because I met a couple. Actually, I met two Niners that played on that team at two totally different times. But I met a couple other like ex pro football players, and I know an ex Wings lacrosse. If you don't know, years ago when we were younger, there was an original Wings team, and then that went away, and then there was a new one. And
that's indoor lacrosse.
Yeah, that's the one that currently plays in Philadelphia. And the guy that I know just got his number retired. And everybody's like, I don't like that guy. He's weird. And I explained to him, I was like, do you remember those fucking commercials for Wings lacrosse when we were kids? It was all about people getting massacred. This dude's like brain scrambled fucking eggs. Mm-hmm. And this is what I'm noticing. I meet all these old ball players sometimes. I meet these ball players sometimes, and they're all kind of a little out there.
They're all Mick Foley.
Yeah, they're all Mick Foley.
Sorry, just bringing it around to wrestling. Brandon, thoughts?
There we go. Was a good. I don't want to ruin your segue there.
Thanks. Let's talk about wrestling. We can talk about football and all other kinds of fun stuff. Well, let's talk about wrestling instead.
Yeah, because
we're going to talk about fucking Royal Rumble this week, but first let's touch on some stuff that's happening next week. Stardom. I'm just going to blow through this shit. You guys give me your thoughts afterwards, all right? Stardom Supreme Fight 2023 is happening on February 4th. I think that's what this is called. Yes, February 4th. Go through the card, the stuff that I care about. Sendai Girls Chihiro Hashimoto showing up. She's going to fight Mirai. Fun match. We got the Naniwa Roulette. It's a single elimination tournament. It sets up the number one contender for the Stardom Championship. It's random, and the matches are 5 minutes. Mayu Iwatani came up with this idea. Naniwa Roulette. Brandon, go ahead. You have thoughts?
I just said, okay, I'm in. I
like
right. That 5-minute roulette. Stardom's, the experts probably in current state of pro wrestling and tournament style shit.
Have some fun with it. So it's completely random, and here's who we got involved so far. Mayu Iwatani came up with it. So we got Momo Kongo, Tom Nakano, Natsupoi, Mina Shirakawa, Waka Tsukiyama, Mariah May, Mai Sakurai, Thekla, Natsuko Tora, Saki Kashima, Mio Amazaki, a.k.a. Kevin Owens, Yuna Mizumori, Momoko Hanazono, who is from Osaka Pro, I believe. And we have a TBA. I don't know who the TBA is. I have no idea. So we'll see.
Jushin Liger.
Jushin Thunder Liger is going to show up. He's going to come out of retirement. So that should be fun. Tag team match for the Gotham Stardom Championship. I'm just going to keep going through these. 7-Up, Nanae Takahashi and Yu are the champs. Are facing off against Maihime, which is Mikey and Himika of Donna Del Monte. Got a singles match for the World of Stardom Championship. Sai Kamitani, the champ, versus Momo Watanabe. This is to break Momo's record of, I believe, 12 straight defenses. Momo's already said she doesn't want the belt. So if she wins, she's got to give it away or some shit. And then we got singles match for the World Stardom Championship. Julia, the champ, defends her first defense against Suzu Suzuki. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, main event looks like it. Not that it's going to carry the card, but it jumps out notably compared to the rest. Konami, do I know who that is? Have we watched her? That name doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, she retired. Konami.
Okay.
Yeah, she retired
so
because
like
I believe. Well, they don't say who are we talking about here.
Konami, you mentioned.
Konami, yeah. Well, I didn't mention her, but you did.
Okay, I saw she was in one of the matches I was looking up before, and I was like, I don't recognize this name, but if she's someone that retired.
Yeah, there's a 6-woman tag match. It's Amy Suri, and Konami facing off against the Queen's Quest team of Utami, Izumi, and Lady C. I wonder who's getting
Got it.
pinned in that one. Yeah, Konami's a woman that she had to retire early. She's a student of Kana, aka Asuka in WWE. And she's big. I mean, people love her. I never really got it. She's got the personality of a fucking deep fried potato. She's just boring as shit. They never said what was wrong with her, but because like unlike American sports news need to know how the sausage is made. If someone's injured, you got to find out if it's an MCL, an ACL. They never said it. She said that she had a digestive issue. And when they talked about her, I read some of her symptoms and the issues she was having. It sounds like Crohn's disease, which kind of sucks. It's fucked up. But she pops up once in a while, and she joins in and pops up and pops a rating, I guess. Go ahead.
One of those diseases that I convinced myself that I had at one point when I was going through bouts of diarrhea, but I think that's all that it was.
It was just fucking. It was a bad deep fried potato.
Yes, deep fried potato.
Chris, that's.
I mean, considering this is the only wrestling that I really find even remotely entertaining right now, all that sounds fucking fantastic. Because everything else is shit, in my opinion.
Julian Suzuki should be pretty good. Yeah, I'm assuming I'm assuming Suzu's losing, but I don't know, man. This Julia story is going to keep going, especially with Mayuki showing up on Stardom. So should be a fun year. I'm curious who Saya is going to lose to. I'm assuming that it's going to be eventually Mina Shirakawa, but this should be a fun run. Momo's going to kick the shit out of her. Maybe we get a little storyline out of that. All right, let's move on. How about New Japan came out with some news that you have to subscribe again to get New Japan, to subscribe to something else to get New Japan Strong. So if you really, really like New Japan Strong, it's not going to be on World. You have to subscribe to it somewhere else. Makes no fucking sense. I mean, I've milked the money, but I don't think the money's there.
I thought it was gone.
No, it moved over to a streaming service.
Do we know what it is?
Here, I'll talk to you about it. Ready? Since its inception during the COVID pandemic in 2020, New Japan Strong has seen the best rising stars in the U.S. compete with familiar names from the Japanese stage and beyond. Monthly tapings have seen passionate fans witness great action live with matches from those tapings being distributed every week on New Japan World and Fight. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Moving forward, all events from New Japan Pro Wrestling in the U.S. will carry the branding of New Japan Strong. In addition, the weekly TV tapings format of Strong will shift to a dual mode: Strong Live and Strong On Demand. So there you go. On demand, separate from New Japan World.
Take their least interesting product and put it behind a second paywall. Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like if you want to watch the show that we're going to, we have to subscribe to New Japan Strong On Demand. All their U.S. stuff is going to be in a separate. It might be a situation where just certain people are going to show up on Strong, and if you want to see them, say, I don't know, Kushida or Kairi, you want to see them in New Japan Ring, you might have to subscribe to New Japan Strong. Chris, thoughts?
It just seems awfully confusing. Once things get confusing, I tend to tune out.
Why do I need so many apps? It charged me $3 more. I'll watch it on the fucking New Japan World.
It's jumping on it's jumping on a wave of like how do I put this? You're jumping onto something that people are like have been complaining about for for a while now. We're just going to fracture the streaming services. Now we're going to fracture the streaming services inside the streaming services. We're going to fracture them more. And everybody's
tiers,
doing it, right? Yeah,
tiers.
And then commercials, you want commercials, you want commercials. And then I'm sure Netflix will have commercials, but it'll be like when you watch a movie on Antenna TV or whatever, and they just jam them. The guy's just like, I went to the store and I saw that, and then it's a commercial. There's no like break. There's no like between scenes. They just jam commercials in places. So, I mean, yeah, I won't. If you're asking me if I'll pay for it, absolutely not. Silly.
It is stupid. Well, we see it now. It's like New Japan's having pay-per-view events. Wrestle Universe is having new pay-per-view events. Stardom has their pay-per-view events. It's separate from what you're already paying for. So like these special event, quote unquote special events, you have to pay more money. Now there's only so many a year that I'm willing to spend money for. I'm not going to spend. I want to see Julia versus Suzuki live. I'm not spending $30 for it. I'll wait the 5 days till it shows up on World. And one thing that I've always said is, okay, these streaming services that they provide are super cheap. They're not great, mind you. The quality's shit. But they're super cheap. They're like $8 a month compared to the United States. $7.50, $8 a month. It's like 900 yen. Charge me $15 a month. Charge me, 1,500 yen or whatever, 15,000 yen, whatever the hell it is. I don't remember.
Yeah, and also you said how many apps do I need? New Japan streaming service isn't really that buffed out after years.
No, it's you have to be on a browser. You got to go on a browser. They have an app on the phone, but it bounces to a Chromecast. Like their tech's way behind.
Yeah, and the app on the phone you can't access matches from that.
No, you can't.
You have to access matches. You have to go on the website, find what you want, then go to the app, and then then you can fast forward, rewind much easier on the app. But that's it. It's basically just a remote control for your Chromecast watching New Japan. It's not good. And it's wild because, WWE comes out with WWE Network, and it was like the shining star of, in my opinion, of every streaming service that there was that you can pay to get exclusive content. And they put everything on it, and they didn't change it at all until they, I think that was just a cash grab to go to Peacock. But, until then, and even with Peacock, if you have Peacock, you get all of the pay-per-views. Now, if the world leader is doing this, shouldn't you be kind of, are you losing that much money where you have to, just kind of following the footprints of who the leader in your industry is? Like, this is what they do. This is what works. We should do the same thing.
I think that's it. To that point, I think AEW is taking the slow road to get to this, because I think they want to do it right, because they see how everybody's doing it wrong since WWE did it so well. Because New Japan, like even Wrestle Universe, which is probably the best of the Japanese streaming services, like Nico Pro, that fucking sucks. Like there's a bunch of different streaming services that suck. They always have this system where you have to buy points, then you use points to buy shows. It's fucking bizarre. A points pay for points system.
That's what
Starbucks.
Audible was like that for a while.
You said
you
Starbucks,
had me on the hook
right?
for a year off of that.
Yeah.
Audible. I got like 6 credits that that if you cancel, you lose. So now I've just been paying them $15 a month.
With this credits just floating out there, and
guess
so you can break them. I guess that's that's shitty.
Well, implying that there's 1 month I'm going to listen to 7 books.
Right.
Catch up and get rid of it.
With Audible, you get 1 credit a month for the $15, and then the ability to buy the other books. What's that noise? Anyway, the ability to buy, it's the dog. I can have the ability to buy other books. But just for me, like something like that's not quite as bad because, I listen to 1 book a month on Audible. It cost me $15. That's fine. But AEW looks like you were saying, Jim, I equate it to Rockstar Games, where you don't get a Rockstar game out for years. It takes them years to put out a game. But when they put that fucker out, it's perfect. And I'd rather wait. So hopefully if AEW comes out with something I really want to buy it, unless they're going to give me every pay-per-view every month, or whatever, I'm not going to go for it. But, hopefully they'll when they do it, it won't be like this. It'll just be a straight up service where you get everything and you pay 1 flat fee for everything.
Right. Yeah, it's shitty. They're not going to change, though. It's Japan. They don't change for shit. All right. Any final thoughts on that, Brandon?
Nah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about these new beginning shows. New Japan's got. They're also the same weekend, Saturday, February 4th and February 5th. I'm going to read off the important matches. The first night, February 4th in Sapporo. Beautiful Sapporo. We got about 2 feet of snow. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. We got the champs Francisco Akira and TJP versus the challengers. Just two dudes, or just two guys, Doki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. We get a special singles match. We got Will Ospreay versus Taichi. And also a special singles match. We're getting Shota Umino versus Tetsuya Naito. Should I keep going, or you guys want to talk about it?
You can keep going. I don't really have anything to add.
Okay.
The Great Muda's not on this retiring. This is
no,
the first
he's
card in
not.
a while he's not appearing on.
Yeah, thank God he's not appearing.
He's wrestling in my backyard that weekend. He's wrestling the stray cat in my backyard.
So the next night, also in Sapporo, the 5th, we have Master Wato and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Taiji Ishimori and Kenta. We're furthering those two feuds. I'm going to skip here we go. Okay. 4th match, 30-minute time limit. Jado, Hikuleo, and Tamatanga versus Gato, El Phantasmo, and Jay White. Surprise, Jay White didn't show up at the Royal Rumble. No shit. What else we got? IWGP Tag Team Championship match. Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto versus the challengers. Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. That's the Mighty Don't Kneel. We got the New Japan World TV Championship match. The champ is Zack Sabre Jr. He's fighting Tomohiro Ishii. That should be a fun one. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Yo challenges Hiromu Takahashi. There you go. Thoughts?
Not bad. I mean, it's new beginnings. It's usually not the most exciting time of year, but the Will Ospreay Taichi is interesting as a special singles event, right? We get the clapping crowd, or we're done with the clapping crowds officially. I think
that's right.
across
That's
Japan.
official. Yeah.
So that's encouraging. I saw Will Ospreay, the Bird, tweeting out that how much of a big deal it was to him, and like I don't know. Obviously, we're suffering through it a bit watching it on shitty New Japan World, but not nearly as much as them. And I thought it was interesting to hear how much they kind of confessed that it was driving them all nuts.
Right. Yeah, I've heard reports of that multiple times where guys are just like, it just sucks. And then to go back to the United States and wrestle, or go to the UK and wrestle, and you're like full on crowds going nuts, fucking screaming and yelling and chanting and having a good time. Then you got to go back to Japan, your actual home base. No matter where you're from, the company, your home base is in Tokyo. And then you have a bunch of people just clapping. Yeah. It's going to be, I don't ever want to go back to this ever again. You can kill another couple million people. I won't care. If I have to watch non-clapping wrestling ever again, I would be very upset.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes. Chris, final thoughts?
Yeah. I do have a thought, a serious one. Okay. I just tried to fart and almost shit my pants, so I had to run away to the bathroom real quick. Okay. Just wanted to be full disclosure. We like to talk about shitting our pants. Well, it almost happened to me.
That's quick thinking, brother.
Usually I could squeeze out the diarrheas before the podcast, but I felt that pressure on the exterior of the cheek. It wasn't on the interior of the beehole. And it was time to run. That's all I got.
You got that little crock pot on your lap. That'll do it.
He's percolating that gut.
Yeah,
his farts are causing you to fart.
Oh God, the last one smelled like fucking pure, like a sulfur mine.
Hell yeah.
I love him. I love my little guy. He's my little boy, and he makes that crazy eye. Ooh,
long guy. He's so cute. Anyway, all right. He kind of looks like a bat. I'm into him
a little bit.
Yeah. We watched the Royal Rumble. Did you guys watch the Royal Rumble? Brandon, did you watch the Royal Rumble?
I did. Yeah.
Chris, did you watch the Royal Rumble?
Highlights only. Saturday night, I was at work.
It's fine. Let's talk about it. Let's go through the card. You ready for this?
Go for it.
Here we go. We're complete amateurs of the Royal Rumble. I've never watched WWE before. It's kind of weird to get back into it because I didn't really know some of the lore, and I dove into the beginning of the Royal Rumble match. I didn't watch any of the pre-match shit. Happened in San Antonio, Texas. They had 51,000 fucking people there. So I didn't realize the Alamo Dome was so fucking big. It's huge. When they showed it, like the one shot, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's a big ass fucking stadium. Is that for basketball? Who plays in there?
That's what I was wondering. What is that? 64,000 seats inside.
So they did. They just built a massive stadium down there. I mean, what I mean is when they build it, it's not new. I remember when they built that. I thought that the Spurs played there for a while. and they
Yeah, I've
block
seen
off.
that, right?
Yeah, they block off big sections of it. But they've done the Final Four there. They do it. They have this like way of just blocking it off to where it looks like a smaller stadium. I really don't. I forget the
Says
details.
when
but it's
the
been
it
around
says
so
when the
long.
Spurs got good in the late '90s, they moved them out of the Alamo Dome to try to get a better environment. So they must have started there
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
and then invested. Right now, it's not for anything really. It's just one of those strange things that just exists. The San Antonio Brahmas, the Rocks
That's what I'm
Football
looking at.
League,
What is
exists
that?
out of there? The Rocks Football League. He bought the XFL, so
XFL.
Oh,
I
it's
guess they run
XFL.
that.
Okay.
The F
Yeah.
in XFL. Do you know what it stands for?
Farts.
Failure.
All right.
Failure. Okay, cool. American
Extreme
Cheer
failure.
Power is going to be there. The
They do these
HEB.
weird events.
Boxing. Strange.
I will tell you this.
Hold on. Let's see how much it costs to book it. Go ahead, Chris.
I will tell you this. I am not a fan of the Royal Rumble in these big arenas. And the reason why these big stadiums, the pop from the surprises and the pop from like the entrances gets drowned out. It just gets lost in my opinion.
There were some good ones though. All right, let's go
It's
through.
also
But we don't know how I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
It's also there's an incredible amount of bad seats from
Oh man, the way it was set
the
up.
way that the ramp was set up. There, not the ramp, but the walkout path was set up to where this bleachers actually start relative to the ring. You could be in the first row of the seats, and you're a quarter mile away.
Yeah, it was an interesting setup. If you didn't watch it, it's the ring was like all the way at the far end of what would be, I guess, the football field. It was like near one of the end zones. And then the rest of it was just walkway and floor seating. Could you imagine being like, yeah, I got floor seats, and you're row 38 on the floor behind 37 other people's fucking heads? It's fucking awful. My advice to anybody going to a show, unless you're trying to buy tickets to the same show I'm going to, never sit on the floor unless you're first 2 or 3 rows. Good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I did that one time for the UFC. Sat on the floor like row 20. I was like, dude, we're going to be so close. If one person stands up, it ruins it for everybody behind them.
Mm-hmm. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. That was the Royal Rumble. All right, let's talk about the Royal Rumble match. Cody Rhodes defeats, you ready for this list? I'm just going to blow through it. We're going to do thoughts. Defeats Angelo Dawkins, Austin Theory. This is alphabetical, mind you. Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Booker T with the skinniest legs I've ever seen on a professional wrestler, Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, Chad Gable, Damian Priest, star of the show, Dominic Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, Edge, Elias, Finn Balor, Gunther, Johnny Gargano, Karrion Kross. I missed some of these dudes, by the way. Kofi Kingston, Logan Paul, Montez Ford, Omos, Otis, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, The Miz, and Xavier Woods. Brandon, thoughts?
It was fine. It was over an hour long. I think I saw. Didn't feel like that. I watched it last night, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Some highlights for Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. I didn't know what was going on at first with Edge and Beth Phoenix against fucking Damian Priest and his squad, but we get a little Beth Phoenix spear and Rhea Ripley. They come out, I think, during the men's Royal Rumble. Something's going on there. Gunther, probably the star of the show here.
Yeah, he was
or
awesome.
no. How could I not the star of the show? Because Logan Paul and fucking Ricochet, Chris's favorite wrestler.
Dick
one
O'Shea.
One of the wildest moments I've seen in a minute. Yeah, Dick O'Shea.
Yeah, absolutely insane, that fucking spot where both of them jumped halfway and met perfectly in the middle. It looked like something from a kung fu flick where they'd be on wires, slammed into each other. That was fucking rad. Yeah, Chris, thoughts before I start talking?
I was going to say, the other day, I've been saying it for the whole weekend since that happened, at least. I said, you say you will about the Paul brothers. They are, both of them, fucking freaks of nature, the two of them. And him being able to hit that fucking spot was absolutely fucking unbelievable. I mean, and he has done nothing but shine every time he shows up in WWE. I mean, he's one of the better. If you're going to make me, recency bias rank the celebrity wrestlers, the celebrity surprises. You get Bad Bunny. Obviously, I think it's probably the best one that they've had in a very long time. And then you get, I would put Logan Paul right underneath him. And, just he seems to just like very super athletic and able to pick it up and be able to pull off a move like that, only being around for less than a year and only wrestling, 2-3 matches, right? I mean, it's just fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking insane. Sorry, I was looking into his sports background.
Bad Bunny did it first, but both of them fall into a category that we don't usually see, which is guys that aren't totally washed and past their prime and then appearing on WWE.
Right. Like Mike Tyson. Is that what you're saying? Like guys like that?
Yeah, pretty much everybody that showed up, it's like, oh, he used to have a career and now he's doing this. This is, for whatever reason, two guys that are like actually athletically able to and interested in doing wild shit. So we've gotten a couple fun spots.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes eliminates Gunther to win. Cody Rhodes, big babyface pop, comes out. Classic WWE babyface, kicks people and punches them in the dick before he eliminates them, which is fucking insane. It's just the concept that WWE has them punching, they cheat in the win. Babyfaces is just ridiculous. I'm trying to think of some more before I go back to you. I'm trying to think of some more stuff that stood out because this was a fun match. Booker T having skinny legs really stood out to me. They called Finn Balor what do they call him, a sexy spaceman or something like that, which was pretty fucking rad with his new pants.
He's a sexy
Johnny
whatever
Gargano,
he wants to be.
Yeah, Johnny Gargano, no heat at all. I think I turned it on when Dominic Mysterio came out. I think that's when I started watching. He was great in this. As a fucking chicken shit coward. He was fucking fantastic. Okay, Brandon, you're gonna say.
No, I don't know that I have too much else, to be honest with you. It was fun, and I like using the men's first because you're an hour in, pretty warmed up, and then you're kind of moving. It's like that sometimes if that goes too late, it can just be kind of drag you out because I don't really give a shit about most of these guys. But
you mean you don't care about where Baron Corbin finishes?
I do not. No, I think the one thing that they fucked up that I saw though, was that I guess it was announced that Cody Rhodes was going to be there, and then he comes out 30th, which is like once you get to the last guy, you know who it's going to be, which that's usually one of the fun surprises of the Royal Rumble. So,
I mean, I don't pay attention to WWE, but it seemed like everybody knew that this was going to happen, right? Cody Rhodes was winning it. No surprise, right?
Right.
I guess him versus Reigns at Royal Rumble. Or whatever it's called, WrestleMania. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah. When I saw the Cody Rhodes one, it was kind of it was one of those. Yeah, it makes sense. So I'm sure if I watched the show, I would just have assumed he was going to win. But this is always one of the fun pay-per-views of the year. I always enjoy it. So it's kind of hard to fuck it up. But you made a point about Cody Rhodes coming into a big babyface pop and kicking people in the dick and doing all the shit that he does. And I equate it to the fact that when these guys do this, I think that there's somebody, you have somebody who doesn't understand subtlety who is like, oh, but I think of people cheering for Eddie Guerrero. When Eddie Guerrero was lie, cheat, and steal Eddie Guerrero. And the difference between that is that even though people cheered for him, he was a fucking bad guy. He was never good. He portrayed himself as a villain. People just took to him.
He was also an underdog in WWE. He was
100%. Right? But even when he was doing the lie, cheat, and steal thing, people just, because he was so good at what he did, people loved him. But he was always a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like he never came off like he had any virtue. And people, the shining star of like the midi, the guy that's not really a baby face, but everybody loves is Stone Cold Steve Austin. But he came off like he was a jerk too. Yeah, tweener. He was like he was a jerk. He was never like, like he had to go rescue Stephanie McMahon. He didn't want to do it. He did it because his conscience finally got to him. But he didn't want to be involved in that whole situation. Fucking leave me out of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they just go, oh, well, yeah, but people cheered these guys and they did dastardly stuff. So we can make a baby. No, they're not a baby face. Not everything has to be team A or team B. There are outliers. And I don't understand it. And Cody Rhodes is definitely somebody, like, if you're going to have him come out to that pop, and it depends on the person, but if you're going to have Cody Rhodes come out at 30 as a baby face, he should be the baby face of all baby faces, But then you had, to my point, they had been making money off of Cena just kind of being a bully and a dick and still being a baby face. Like, it's okay. You should have virtue. You should be virtuous. But if somebody's a scumbag, you can go down to their level, no problem, and still be the good guy because they do it too. And that's just not the way it works. You have to have something that sets you apart from those people. You don't want to stoop down to their level. And they just allow the baby faces to be like, oh, yeah, you kick me in the dick, I'll kick you in the dick. And
balls are small.
We only know that he's a baby. We only know
Okay.
that he's a baby face just because it's obvious that he is, because it's WWE. But his gimmick is he's a nightmare. When you watch him in the ring, the couple times that we've seen him, he's not behaving like somebody with any kind of real values or honor system. It just is the baby face.
Yeah, but he's also cutting promos like a baby face.
I
mean?
don't know.
Which
I
is
don't
kinda-
watch enough to
Yeah,
watch.
well, I mean, Christ, we haven't. I watched when he cut one promo and then he didn't work for 6 months. So
Yeah.
it's
I
like
didn't watch
he's only got
Raw.
like 2
I didn't feel
promos
this
since he's been
heat,
back.
though.
He's been gone for fucking year, I think.
But
I get
checked out. I'll be checked out of WWE until WrestleMania. I'm not going to watch anymore.
Yeah,
Anyway, he won.
The other thing on this, the
Final thoughts,
front
Brandon,
end of this,
final
I'm
thoughts.
sorry to keep interjecting you, but Pat McAfee, he comes out before this to his own entrance music and gets up on one of those spinning office chairs, almost falls over. The place is going nuts. I can't think of anybody else in this spot. I know it's been going on for a while. I just watched him 2-3 weeks ago call the NCAA National Championship game, goofing off on there, like he's calling the Georgia Bulldogs female mascot a bitch because technically, or a son of a bitch because technically it is. Talking about penetrating college football and getting inside of it. Now he's on WWE, standing on chairs. Kind of one of the more interesting. I don't know that I really love him, but one of the more interesting personalities in America right now.
He's
a fucking NFL punter.
At one point, that's right. The commentary on this fucking show is amazing. One point, Michael Cole says Dominic Mysterio is a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And then what's his name goes to cut him off, but it's not before he gets that hard T in. It was really good. The commentary was great. Has it been like this? I don't know. You'll have to reach out to me, watchers of WWE.
No idea.
It was fun during this match. Did Brandon go take a poop?
Who knows? I'll clock. Give credit to Dominic Mysterio. A lot of the fans hate Dominic Mysterio, gets a lot of shit.
Or did, I guess.
He's a fucking bad guy, man. And he's a weaselly shit, and he plays him perfectly, and he looks the role. Come on, stop. Remember when I think
his hate for Dominic Mysterio was spillover from when he was a babyface.
Probably, and then they just don't pay attention. Like, I can see that, and I don't fault anybody for that. Like, you didn't like him when he was a babyface. Now every time you see him on your TV, you're like, fuck. And you don't really give yourself the opportunity to look into the nuance of his character. Like him calling Rhea Ripley, mommy, help me.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Of course, he's not the Dominic Mysterio Build-A-Figure that they've been giving out pieces where you get this little head with blonde hair. But
right. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Is he back? Did he poop?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I filled my drink.
Took the diarrheas.
Just shot shit out of my ass onto the wall and then came back over.
What's the song?
Pitch Black match. This is our first match with Bray Wyatt since he came back. Bray Wyatt defeats LA Knight. A lot of black light. I was a big fan. I like black light art. Huge fan.
Do you have a big mushroom in your dorm?
I have a big mushroom in my pants, Chris.
No. You have a long stem mushroom. It doesn't glow in the dark, does it?
I wish it did. This match fucking sucked. Brandon, thoughts?
It was exactly as long as it should have been. The excitement of the black light wore out in about 5 minutes, and that's when the match ended. So,
yeah,
they're selling a Mountain Dew soda here via the Undertaker 2.0. That's his big gift. He gets to go on Raw. The Undertaker anoints him as the next in line, and he gets to go hawk a new variety of Mountain Dew product.
Interesting. Chris, thoughts?
Don't know. Don't care.
LA Knight's pants were great though because they were glowing in the dark light, the black light.
Yeah, but what's going on with this fucking guy? We were pretty hyped on him when we were still following this. I was into him from NWA. He was on NXT when we were into it. Now, yeah, good for him. He's gotten involved in some angle with Bray Wyatt appearing at the Royal Rumble.
I guess it's one of the higher end angles on WWE is this Bray Wyatt thing. And then some dude in a mask falls off a fucking stack of chairs or some shit and kills LA Knight at the end.
It's like Uncle Ricky or something. I don't know who the fuck
Uncle
was.
Howdy?
Uncle Fester.
Uncle Howdy?
Uncle Howdy, I think his name
Isn't Uncle Howdy with Reagan's talking to Uncle Howdy when the demons in Exorcist?
There you
I
go.
think that's the name of the monster, Uncle Howdy. Pazuzu. There you go.
Uncle Howdy it was.
Pazuzu.
Next up, WWE Raw Women's Title match. Bianca Belair defeats Alexa Bliss in 7 minutes and 33 seconds. And then Alexa Bliss gets a visit from Bray Wyatt via videos on a big screen in a 51,000 person stadium. Brandon, thoughts?
This is still going on, huh? Alexa Bliss is still. Bray Wyatt comes back and she's probably just like, God damn it, I got to go back into getting tormented by this guy again.
Like, this is back when we watched it. We were actually enjoying. You look back, if you listen back, like I guess October of the Bray Wyatt years, the Fiend, we were getting a big kick out of it. Alexa Bliss was shooting fire out of her fingertips. Remember that shit?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, it was a little creepy. Yeah, it was a little creepy that she was dressing up like a little girl and going, "I'm just a lost little girl. Look at my tits."
Then the bone bags were coming out in the United States.
Bone bags are jerking off to the little girl. Oh God,
swinging.
It's good to see your career is taking quite an arc. Final thoughts on these two matches, Brandon? You missed WWE after watching these two.
No, but I feel confident that we're in a pocket here where I'm like I can tune in 2 nights a year and get some semblance of a kick out of it, but certainly not.
Laugh at. We're getting laugh at it. Chris?
Yeah, no interest at all.
There we go. Women's. Excuse me. Let me say that again. Women's Royal Rumble match. Rhea Ripley comes out first and she defeats Clownface Asuka. B-Fab eliminated in like seconds. Bailey, who looked awesome. Becky Lynch. Candice LeRae to 0 pop. Chelsea Green to a big pop. Dakota Kai. Dana Brooke, who I haven't watched WWE in a while. And listen, it's your body. You do what you want to. She don't even look like the same fucking person.
No, she doesn't.
Wows. How about Emma? She's in WWE again. Indy Hartwell came out there. Io Sky. Lacey Evans, who is now military lady again. Liv Morgan. Mia Yim. They have her listed Mia Yim. She definitely had a different name. I don't know what it was. Michelle McCool came out of the stands, handed her kids her soda, and came in. Natalya. Nia Jax, as predicted by Brandon. Nikki Cross, who ran to the ring. Piper Niven. Raquel Rodriguez. Sorry. What was her name in NXT? Raquel
Gonzalez.
Roxanne Perez. Shayna Baszler. Shotzi. Sonya Deville, who looked like $1 million. Tamina, new gear. Tegan Knox. Jesus Christ. Jaya Lee. Zelina Vega. And Zoe Stark, who was in there for a while, too. 61 minutes. Brandon, you got anything?
Yeah, but I was like about to call her Raquel Gonzalez, and then I saw it was Rodriguez, and am I fucking racist? Am I just messing up these
she was definitely
Spanish last names? They just flipped both of them. I predicted Nia Jax to get a big spot at the end there.
I think what did you predict Nia Jax for though? It wasn't this. It was like versus Flair or something.
Yeah,
good.
I knew she was coming back one of these days. You knew maybe got the biggest pop of them all. Asuka coming out looking wild as shit.
Well, she's been gone for a while apparently.
Very loud for Asuka.
I still follow her on social media. Good.
So I thought that was interesting. Raquel Rodriguez dominated. I just don't have to go into detail. The goofy fucking comment Corey Graves made at the beginning of this, but I was like, it stuck in there. I was like, whoa, what the fuck did he just say? Other than that, decent enough match. No real thoughts though. Not memorable to me.
This as opposed to the men's Royal Rumble, which didn't really have this feel the middle of the women's Royal Rumble did have like a let me go run to the bathroom type feel to it.
Drag.
When you had like the Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke and all those girls come out, you're just like, yeah, this is real slow. This is a real slow match right now.
Well,
Chris,
they can continue.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
They continue to run into this problem where they don't have 30 women that are relevant. So there's that constant drop where it's like, let's bring Michelle Cool out of the crowd. And there's just, I think last year was somebody from Impact showed up that was supposed to be a big deal. They were breaking the forbidden door. The depth isn't there. So there's a even bigger, boring part of it.
Oh, well,
that's Mia Yim's name, Michin. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, the woman that showed up from Impact, wasn't it? It was friggin' what's her name?
Yeah,
the champion now.
Yeah, what the hell is her name?
Anyway,
they called her Miss Piggy in WWE.
The hell was her name?
God damn it!
The cowboy girl, right? She's awesome.
Oh, whatever. It'll come to me. Good.
It'll come to us. But I mean, that actually was a big deal. But
Mickey James.
Mickey James. There you go. But no, I agree with you. This didn't really look like there was much going on. They like to bring. I mean, I get it. You bring in the special attractions. Michelle McCool, right? Wasn't that who it was?
Yeah.
But it's like, you're bringing in attractions from an era that really isn't considered to be that great. And they were just getting shit shoveled on them on a regular basis. It's good. You get somebody a payday. I don't give a fuck.
They're in Texas. Fuck it.
I
got that Texas pop.
So I will address the Corey Graves situation.
Go ahead. I'm
curious.
Repeat what he said. Good.
I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't have the actual quote, but he made a comment that half of the people in the San Antonio Alamo Dome were related to Raquel Rodriguez. Okay. Now, I'm just curious. Was this a situation where, because she is from San Antonio.
She is from San Antonio.
Maybe they went back and she was like, maybe she brought a bunch of family members, like 10 people from her family came to go see it. And Corey Graves, I'm just saying, like, maybe he was just like, made a comment that she had a lot of family members there. And that was the comment that he made. And it was just like, oh, fuck.
Because we don't.
As soon as it came out of his fucking mouth, he's probably like, Jesus Christ. So, I mean, it's just, whatever. I ain't defending him. He seems like a bit of a tosser. But anyway,
Pittsburgh zone. Good.
Yeah, the Asuka reveal. I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, I think Brandon's right. They don't have the depth of roster. You get into a lull every time they do a women's Royal Rumble, which is, it's to be expected. I'm sure you can write your way out of it, but I'll get into it later. I think with AEW, where the writing just ain't that good and people are not being creative. It's like when we talked about Game of Thrones and they said, well, this was kind of like House of Fire or whatever the hell it was called. The last one, the Dragons.
Yes. House of the Dragons.
Yeah. It was kind of like a history book. It would really have dialogue. Yeah. That's why you hire writers.
Mm-hmm.
Write yourself out of these problems. Write yourself out of the fact that you don't have you don't have enough strong people in there and you're going to get these lulls. You have people that are hired to write around those lulls.
One thing they did do well with this is they brought a bunch of people in from NXT. So you got Indy Hartwell's in there. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say a bunch, but you had some people that haven't been on TV, I guess, that much. They were acting like Roxanne Perez, Indy Hartwell.
And they've been big on Zoe Stark since she showed up.
Right. Yeah. That's because that's Shawn Michaels' girl. So Trips is like, yeah, hell yeah. She's the best champ.
Shawn Michaels is just like, let me explain to you why you should use her. Quack, 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 his eye goes across and people get hypnotized.
Okay. Just trying to explain it to the audience listening.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most of the audience is listening. Sorry.
They also did 2 times in a row that night, which used to be a big fucking deal. Like I remember Benoit did it when I was a kid.
Who
ran the whole
kill his family?
Yeah, he rode the Bowflex. Ran the whole Royal Rumble, and both matches that night they had someone go from number 1 to the end. And it's like that's supposed to be special.
Yeah, I think the only person, who the only person to come in at number 1 and win the Royal Rumble was
Rhea Ripley. Was she number 1?
No.
Yeah,
she was number 1. Royal Rumble.
Men's Royal Rumble before that.
Oh, okay. Ric
Flair.
Flair.
You know who that was? He's
Reed.
Ric Flair.
I was in the Royal Rumble and I saw Carson. Woo!
It was Reed Flair that did it.
Reed Flair's the spirit of Reed Flair.
He's dead. I'm just doing it for you.
Son.
It was Andy Reid.
I think 4 of the girls that came in pointed at the Andy Reid's kids. Andy Reid Flair. Is that one of his kids? Andy Reid Flair?
Mhm.
Like 4 girls came out and pointed to the WrestleMania sign, which is so fucking corny. Like you're like, all right, Indy Hartwell, you're not going to the WrestleMania event. Like take a walk with this shit.
Also, if you're a comedian and you're on a like a comedy showcase, you kind of go over everything and you say, well, I do a joke about this. You don't go out there and do the same joke as the person before you.
Right.
Right. And like as soon as the first person pointed at the WrestleMania sign, they should have just been like, unless they were going to have all 30 women come out and be like, yeah, and then wrestle, then that's a thing.
Was it Jericho and Omega? They wrestled the Wrestle Kingdom, right? Jericho, Omega?
Yeah.
And I forget who. Well, Will Ospreay was wrestling somebody, and he did a spot that they wanted to do. He jumped off one of the riser things, did a flip off it, and they were going to do that. But then they were backstage talking about it, and then they saw him do it, and they were like, oh, shit, God damn it. No, we can't do it. Yeah. It would have been better if every single entrant into the Women's Royal Rumble pointed at the the WrestleMania sign. Yo, remember the year that the WrestleMania sign burst into flames? Was that last year?
I have no idea. I don't remember this at all.
Fuck. I forget when it happened. It just started burning. And there you go.
Also, another thing that stood out over these, which WWE started during the pandemic, they do that pan out shot, and everybody now has like a 3-dimensional graphic. It's gotten worse than ever. It's every single person has got some like photoshopped
pixelated
weird thing that appears over the entire arena. Is incredibly pixelated. Yeah.
Dana Brooks was just topical numbing cream and a scalpel.
Yeah.
Filler.
Zelina Vega looked like a
big needle came in. It just said Botox on the side of it.
Zelina Vega, her getup was video game getup. It looked fucking awesome. Next time I see her, I'll scream that I love her. What's that?
Nothing. Junk.
Listen, she is she's criminally underrated, in my opinion. She's fantastic.
Is she Queen of the Ring?
She was, yeah.
Now let's move on. Do we have any final thoughts on Royal Rumble before we talk about the main event?
Oh,
yeah, let's go.
Royal
Rumble. All right. WWE title, Universal title. I guess they're combined now. Roman Reigns defeated Kevin Owens in 19 minutes. Fun match. Heel turn, I guess. Babyface turn. The whole routine. Brandon, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Go ahead.
I skipped through half the match because I'm like, man, we haven't watched this shit in so long, and here we are again with Kevin Owens get taken to beating at the end of the match by Roman Reigns. I know where this is going, so I don't even have that much to say about it. Except I hardly was interested in it. After the fact, seemed like a hot angle that they did a decent job of filling us in on, like WWE always does. Paul Heyman's great. Some conflict within the Usos. Probably could have struck the right audience crowd. Didn't totally land with me, though. That's okay. Sami Zayn, always a good time.
Yeah, he was fun. Chris? Thoughts?
Now, I only saw highlights of this, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Go ahead.
It seemed to me...
I'm the WWE expert. Go ahead.
It seemed to me that Paul Heyman was almost instructing Sami Zayn to do what he did.
I don't know. I didn't catch that.
I
was watching live. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I saw it on one of the videos. I could be completely wrong, but it looked like Sami Zayn picked up the chairs and Paul Heyman was looking at him and going like that with his head.
He may have been.
Oh, I don't know.
He may have been.
Guys.
I didn't
have no idea.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Paul Heyman.
Just curious if anybody had seen that or if I'd seen something else. Doesn't matter. But maybe that's a plot point that we're not going to pay attention to. So it really doesn't matter to get into it.
It's one of those situations where if it's a deep cut or some kind of detail lore that I missed, I'm not going to pay attention to it ever again. So if I missed it, I apologize.
Just move past it. No, I was just curious if anybody else saw it. And I mean, look, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, it worked a bunch of times. Like I said, I didn't watch it. Some of it worked again. But yeah, it was a match, right?
Roman Reigns looked dominant in it. He kicked the shit out of him. The problem I have with WWE in general and their writing is that it was heavy-handed. And you knew what Sami Zayn was going to do from the moment they showed him 20 times during the match.
There's no
his face looking disgruntled and upset the whole time. I was surprised that one of the Usos abandoned Roman Reigns, but I guess that's the story going into Elimination Chamber, which is in Montreal, by the way. So our French Canadian boys will probably be in the main event.
So
I don't know. I thought this was a really, really fun match. I thought it was good. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was a little ham-handed, the storytelling.
Of
but
course.
This is WWE, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? Of course, social media reacted like it was one of the greatest stories ever told, as if this was we were watching Spartacus throwing up against the emperors of Rome, as if this was something a Martin Scorsese film. It was entertaining. It was professional wrestling. It was good professional wrestling.
Yeah, you moved on to something else the next day.
Yeah, Chris.
No, I was gonna say you moved on, and then the next day the Eagles played the NFC Championship game and won, and you forgot about everything that happened the day before.
Yes, so much so that I missed. I mean, and that maybe it's because Brandon had mentioned it. Maybe I'm not the audience for this, so maybe I wasn't as invested in it. So I wasn't hoping, wishing, and waiting. But
part of this is like this is just where we're at. There's this mass of people that's paid to talk about this shit and has suffered for a long time. So you execute something that shows that there's somebody in there, that there is a wizard of Oz, and they're like, oh, thank God. And it blew up more than it should have, just because it was like actually somebody finishing something that had some meaning to it. It's far from great. It's incredibly ham-handed, like Jim said, but that was kind of like my feeling on it after the fact. It's like the deep root, like I feel like these people are almost motivated to overhype something up just because they're dying for some semblance of like logic to happen. So,
Chris,
I don't have enough interest in WWE to even follow up with Brendan just said.
There you go. That's fine.
He nailed it, and I got nothing.
We forgot something. We forgot the main event of this fucking show, by the way. Any final thoughts on this, Brandon?
No.
Chris, final thoughts?
No.
Hardy performed live. His song sold out. This is seriously one of the worst fucking live musical performances I've ever seen in my entire life. Brandon, thoughts?
I skipped it, so I don't have anything.
Oh my God.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
All right. Here's an assignment for both of you. I can tell by the look on Chris's face that he missed it too.
Oh, I'm Googling him. I don't even know who this person is.
We're gonna watch it for next week's episode. Watch it for next week's episode. You want to see some of the worst fucking country rock in history?
No, I refuse to. I'm not
watching.
No,
You have to.
No, I just saw his face.
This is a job.
He looks like
do it.
You know what he looks like? First of all, he's a country guy. He's giving metal horns, which is I'm like Ronnie James Dio with them now. He looks like if Dwight Schrute had brought a friend in on an episode of The Office. That's what this guy looks like now. And they're all like, "Oh, so Dwight brought his friend Hardy in on Wednesday," and Hardy's like, "Hey, look, we've been talking about it because I just got a figure of him in the mail." Hardy's like Poochie in The Simpsons. He just shows up like, "Hey, I'm the rapping country music guy that's here to say that this is going to be a really great day." Yeah. And everybody kind of gives each other that Office look in the background. Like, yeah, he's terrible. I can't wait to watch it. It's embarrassing.
I watched this whole show with my wife, by the way. She doesn't watch professional wrestling. We've talked about this before. We got to this, an actual quote from my wife. I was trying to figure out what was going on the entire show. But this shit is fucking awful. There's nothing redeemable about this. That's how bad this musical performance was. Like, we were sitting there watching and just like, it was so many questions. Like, we weren't laughing. It was just like who is the market for this? What is this? The crowd was silent. Some spatterings of booze. I mean, of course, you have to have a pee break. And I'd rather it be a pee break during this. You know what I mean?
I
Final
like that
thoughts
the
on Hardy.
kick drum has the like black metal font with the black background, white letters that are like bleeding out.
Yeah.
And then he's just like the lyrics I'm listening to: "Don't give a damn, ain't afraid to throw it down." And then he does like a mosh pit, elbows.
Yeah.
He's
Some of
wearing
the
like
worst shit
Coke
I've ever
dealer
seen.
fucking shaded glasses.
Who is
like
the
Robert
audience
De
for
Niro.
this? Please, someone, if you're
No,
listening out there and you like Hardy, explain to me why you like him.
I never heard of it. You said I saw Hardy appeared. I'm like, oh, Jeff Hardy's back in fucking WWE.
Nope. Hardy. This is the real Hardy. Forget about the Hardy brothers.
Holy shit!
He just released.
Couldn't get Kid Rock, huh?
Nope. This is knock rock. Kid knock. Fake Kid Rock. Oh my god, fucking terrible. All right, let's move on. AEW. Oh, first of all, let's talk about this. News came out today. Kota Ibushi's officially out of his first contract, or out of his New Japan contract. First show booked. He's going to be in California. I guess it's the weekend before WrestleMania. He's doing Bloodsport. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Word is that he's changing his moveset. He's going more striking and ground based and less high flying to protect his body. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, my first thought was, Chris, we got fucked when we went to Bloodsport.
Yes.
Wow, we got MDK and Potato Man without a shirt on. What else do you want? We got double gold chain. We got double gold chain, gold Jordan Davey Boy Smith Jr.
I think the guy we saw in the main event who was supposed to be Moxley is some like independent wrestler that's already been canceled as like some kind of sex predator before he even ever made it. We could have got fucking Ibushi.
Chris Dickinson. I think it's his name.
Yeah, Chris Dickinson. Yeah, he's done so. He beat the shit out of his wife.
That's my first thought.
There you go. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, fuck. If they come to Atlantic City, we got to go. We got to make a weekend out of it.
I immediately looked up when it was. Yeah. Like,
yeah, it's WrestleMania weekend. We're not going to be able to see it. I did think, because I don't know if I talked to you guys about this. My wife can't. She's told me, we were talking about maybe going to Japan in January. Do some, Italian, some wrestling, some sumo, travel around the country. With her neck and back, she doesn't think she can do the 15-hour flight. I don't blame her. It's a bummer, but what are you going to do? But I might make her go to WrestleMania with me. So there you go.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because I got a big fucking birthday coming. I think it's a little too late. To make the decision, she needs to take off work and shit. I was gonna try to go to LA for WrestleMania, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to because I gotta buy tickets and shit. I gotta buy a flight. I gotta go find a place to stay, and tickets to shows. Because I'm not just going to fucking WrestleMania. I probably won't even make it to WrestleMania. But I definitely would want to go to TJPW's having a show. I would go to Bloodsport. DDT has a show. I will absolutely go see DDT anytime I get the chance to go see DDT. But I don't think I'm going to be able to make it this year. Oh, well.
Well, I was telling people I wanted to, people ask me if I'm going to WrestleMania when it comes to Philly. And my response is my concern is everything other
I'll go
than WrestleMania.
Oh, I'll go to WrestleMania if I can get some cheap tickets. I don't give a shit. I'll sit in if I can get them cheap up top, I'll go.
Just to say you were there.
Yeah. I don't have to stick around. I'll show up halfway through the fucking show. I don't give a shit.
And leave before it ends.
Yeah, oh, shit. I missed the Miz's match. Like, what the fuck do I care?
That is next year already. Like, to fly across the country.
Shit.
You'll get a lot of that shit next year.
I know. But there you go. So Kota Ibushi's officially gone. Of course, AEW speculation is abounding. Who's his opponent in March? Could be Mox. Oh, we have no idea. So
first stop, GCW.
Yep, GCW. It's kind of funny that GCW evolved. I mean, GCW has a good relationship with a lot of fucking wrestlers overseas. They'll pay to bring you in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, Maki Ito has been there like 5 times. Rina Yamashita has been there a bunch of times. They're paying them big money to come over here. Probably paying for their flight too. That's probably the catch. There you go.
He also, Chris, there's a chance he can wrestle. He, like you said, maybe, if he's main eventing that, maybe he's wrestling Barnett.
I would imagine it's probably the most.
I would imagine that's what it is too. And if Kota Ibushi is, he's a grappler. I don't think you give up that opportunity.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
work
sure
with Josh
if Barnett was a
Guy's
trainer at
fucking legend. Yeah.
and he was a trainer with New Japan for a long time, so I'm sure
Yeah.
he'd worked with them. They've known each other for years.
Mm-hmm.
So exciting stuff.
Maybe he's going to
No more-
wrestle shirtless potato man with bandana, or one of the other. What's the other guy? Team WMGK. What's that guy? This guy, the toothless-
WMGK.
WMGK. I can't say that, dude. I'll say that a million times. We actually got into that at work the other day. Two of us were just going, WMGK. I mentioned private parts about something completely different, and the two of us just started going, WMBC. No,
Paul Giamatti will forever be pig vomit to me.
He's so good. Yeah, I don't know what the guy from Camden, the junkie, the death metal guy, the death wrestling guy. What's his fucking name?
Nick fucking Gage.
Nick
fucking
fucking Gage.
Nick fucking Gage.
Nick Gage. Gage?
Just think.
Is he Nicolas Cage?
I wish.
Just think, if we didn't go to that, we never would have seen Nick Gage.
I've never
We would have
felt
went the rest
like,
of our lives not seeing Nick Gage. And then when he gets beat up by Karrion Kross, and the fans couldn't understand how that could possibly happen. He gets beat up by this giant, super in shape guy that's throwing leg kicks and head kicks, and he's just like, ooh,
Mark.
Fucking Mark. He like teep kicked him in the chest, and fucking Nick Gage looked at our fan and was like, fucking pussy shit. What? Beating you in a fight? I'm sorry. Oh God, it was just so embarrassing. And I had no idea who he was. So when he came out, remember when he came out, because you didn't know who he was either, did you, Brandon?
No.
But we had no idea. And when he came out, everybody went nuts. And Brandon and I were just like, what? Why?
I was going to say, it's like, towards the top of the list of times where I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. This isn't for me. Because there's a lot of school shooter looking motherfuckers there. And then they all stood up for that. And I was like, oh, okay. That's what this was.
He's one of you. Gotcha. He's your people. Yeah, he's your people. Incel crew. All everybody get together.
Combat boots guys with greasy hair. Yeah.
One thing I did I noticed when I was touching myself in the shower, I was thinking about this. When we go see New Japan Pro Wrestling, there is a possibility that I can get my photo taken with Kairi Sane. Kairi Hojo. Kairi.
Bone Bag Jim is going to be out.
When she first went to NXT, I was thinking of moving to South Florida.
Oh yeah,
true story. I was just gonna live in the dumpster outside and hope for her to show up and be like, Kairi, I'm your number one fan. And if she rejected me, I would have just thrown shit at the front door of the Performance Center. Remember that guy, Chris?
Yeah.
Good times.
Do you know what the C in GCW stands for? Columbine. Too soon?
Oh, God, I don't have my inhaler. I'm going to die on air. Oh, too soon. Yeah. 9/11. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to before I start making 9/11 jokes. AEW this week. Oh, never forgetting spaghetti. Did you guys catch Amy Sakura versus Jamie Hayter? Brandon.
I did.
I didn't.
You did not. Brandon or Chris, did you check it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Good.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know what else to say.
They chopped the shit out of each other. Dude, they
Beat the
chopped
piss
the
out
shit
of
out
each
of
other.
it. Their tits, both of their fucking chests were fucking blistered.
So I mean, it was very hard hitting for a woman's match.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Fucking assholes.
They beat the shit out of each other.
They beat the shit out of each other. Once again, we're in a position. I don't know if it's because I'm not used to seeing it on a regular basis and not used to seeing it being, this impactful, right? Just because of the way that it was done for years on WWE and American television, to see the women in these impactful, I hate saying it, but strong style type of matches where they're really beating the shit out of each other. I'm not maybe that's maybe so it's kind of new to me and I fucking love it. So maybe it's like a recency bias thing for me, or maybe it's just because I find everything else in comparison to it on that and pretty much every other wrestling program there is so unbelievably uninteresting that I mean it's just I get excited for a match that essentially doesn't do anything other than to just straight up entertain. Right, we're not moving storyline along with this match, and I found it very entertaining. I was very excited to watch it. A lot of it had to do with basically just the knowledge of what Emi Sakura is, who she is, what she is, the level which the level that she brings to a match just makes it more entertaining. And Jamie Hayter is just throwing bombs left and right. I love to see this shit. And a lot of we talked about this last week, so I'm not going to get into it, but these, the commentators and some of the other wrestling shows and shit, wake the fuck up. Wake up.
Yep. Yeah, it was real good. Brandon, if you get a chance, at least check out the highlights on YouTube. I think they're available. Yeah, there's pictures. Yeah, there's some pictures. Fucking Emi Sakura's chest was just destroyed. It's fucking from chops and shit. It was fucking awesome. And Jamie Hayter, I mean, if I was going to imagine anything, Jamie Hayter was like, let's get her on TV. We got to get her on TV. Let's work her. I've never worked her. You know what? I think they have worked together. But not in a Stardom, but maybe in I forget what the company is over in England. Because Jamie Hayter was the champ of, I can't remember the name of the company.
Progress?
No, it's Pro Wrestling Eve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pro Wrestling
Maybe she said to them, hey, look, we can get it. You want a good match for Dynamite? Here it is.
There it is. And
I put me on Dynamite. This is what I want to match. You get a good
She's
match.
okay with losing.
She don't care. It'll look great losing.
It'll look great. I'll look great. She'll look great. There you go.
Put her over.
Mason Rugen in the ring though. Let's do it.
Put her over too. I mean, if she didn't need it, but I mean, just pushed her even further ahead as a fucking ass kicking machine.
Yeah.
Which is one of the problems with a lot of professional wrestling is that you don't really have that ass kicking machine. It's not like just going there and just brutalizing motherfuckers. It's this very fanciful, artful thing, which is cool. I mean, it's not, but you're lacking that just going in there and just fucking clubbing somebody until they're done and pinning them. You need that too.
Right, exactly. You need a Hashimoto. You need people like that go in there and they just beat the piss out of their opponent. Samoa Joes. Not everybody is going to be a Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. Not everybody's going to be an Okada. Not everybody's going to be an Omega. Sometimes it's fun to have a really high-end professional wrestler that can kick the living shit out of people with just power. It's fun to watch.
And without being a giant.
Right.
Because that's boring.
Right. All right. Hey, let's talk about Dynamite real quick. This week, singles match, Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page. Tag team match. I'm reading this little cage match, by the way. I don't feel like looking at anything else up. The Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster versus question marks and question marks. AEW TNT title match, no holds barred match. The champ, Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe. That should be a good one. We got a singles match. We got Bryan Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher, officially announced. I don't know about. I'm assuming that MJF will speak at that point. Brennan, you excited for AEW this week?
I've never been less excited for AEW than right now, unfortunately. So something's gonna have to give.
We're in that lull, man. We're so good for a while, right? Like they had us for 4 weeks. Now they're gonna lose us for 4 weeks.
There's
the dog's screaming. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Brandon.
He must have pooped somewhere upstairs.
Something was brewing.
Hold on. Yo, baby, he's shitting. Oh, little pee-pee on the carpet. He shit on the carpet too. You catching that?
You know what you got to do? You got to kiss that dog and love it every minute of the day. You shit wherever you want. You're so cute. Okay, Brandon, thoughts? Chris, thoughts? AEW.
This is what I was going to bring this up earlier. I waited for this. So you have Bryan Danielson, one of the best wrestlers in the world, widely considered one of the best wrestlers in the world. You have Timothy Thatcher, somebody who I was very interested and very excited about when he was in NXT because he was presented in storylines. You have these two guys wrestling, And, Timothy Thatcher's not a member of AEW. Maybe you can only get him for a certain amount of time. I understand it. What does this have to do with anything that's fucking going on? It makes no.
Well, MJF is bringing him
but
in.
did he
to
say
fight.
that?
I believe he did.
Did he? Okay. So even better. Okay. So even more to my point. So we've discussed this last week. So MJF is doing what he did before. Do it before. We're going to do it all the time. Every time any MJF is going to be involved in anything, he's going to pay different guys to beat up the guy that he's afraid to fight. And then those guys are going to get beat up. And he's never going to switch tactics, even though he's so smart. He's such a dastardly heel. He's never going to switch tactics. He's going to just keep doing the same fucking thing over and over, spending his money on bums who've never won anything to go beat up a guy that he's afraid to fight. He did it to Jericho. He did it to CM Punk. Now he's doing it to Danielson. Really? Who's getting paid to write this? I mean, it's so, if you saw a movie, if you put out money, which nobody does anymore, but if you put out money to go see a movie and you sat down and the storyline was structured like the AEW storylines are, you'd be like, what the fuck did I just watch? I've watched porn that had a more coherent storyline than anything that AEW does. The best storyline that they have going, the most coherent storyline that they have going right now is a bunch of women who are fighting a bunch of other women because they were here in the beginning and we just got here now. So we don't like them. As bad as that is, as stupid as that is, at least it is a coherent storyline. It's not a good one, but at least it's a story. That's the only thing that they have going on right now. It's horrendous. And then everything else they're doing is weirdo knockoff WWE shit. They're doing exactly what Impact did, which is try to be WWE light. The Max Caster and his Anthony Bowens going to a psychiatrist with the Ass Boys.
Ass Boys.
That is ripped from multiple Raw storylines. Like, try something else. It's getting ridiculous. Limit the amount of time that you show this shit backstage. Make everything happen in the ring. That would be a nice change, right? Or do anything. If you look at something, you're like, hey, you know who does this really well? WWE does it really well. So guess what? We ain't gonna fucking do it because you can't compete with it. Even though we don't.
I got 2 more matches to add too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fucking ranting and raving.
No, it's okay. Go right ahead. Keep
going. No. That's it. That's all I had to say. I'm glad you did because I was just going to start talking in circles, which I tend to do after a while.
That's okay. Before I go to you, Brandon, we're getting Brian Cage versus Konosuke Takeshita, and Jade Cargill defends her 50-0 against Red Velvet. Or she's 49-0. She'll be 50-0 if she beats Red Velvet. Pretty sure that's everything. Thoughts, Brandon?
50.
To Chris's thought or anything?
What are they
She'll
going?
50-0.
Bruno Sammartino with this fucking shit. I don't know when this is going to end. Yeah, I mean, to me, the background of that, and I completely agree with you, Chris, is just the lack of a clear leader or any cohesion in the locker room. It doesn't feel like there is any. So it feels like whoever the circles are that are hanging out on the road or outside of this are making up their own shit that they want to do with each other. And the big ex-WWE guys are kind of like still in this spot where they're not sure where to, like, I feel like Bryan Danielson came in. He's like, hey man, I'm not trying to be the champion and dominate this show. I just want to wrestle and have fun. But just for the sake of the audience, it's like, just give him the fucking title and have him be the interesting one because he is the most interesting one.
Just think how different it would be if Young Bucks and the Elite got along with CM Punk. We had storylines brewing in September that just fell the fuck apart.
Right.
I agree.
MJF had a whole different storyline going. Fell apart. He had a new crew. It all fell apart.
That's another odd thing though. It was like we got a new crew, and then one piece of the puzzle, a big piece, mind you, falls apart, and then you just start screaming abandon ship.
He was a babyface for like 2 weeks. MJF. Then they just went back to January of 2021 or something. Like they just went back, or 2022. They just went back and they were like, let's just rehash this shit again.
And We talked about that. I know this has been said a million times. I don't give a shit. Back to my point, where you look at something that WWE does well, don't do that thing. Do the opposite of that thing. Try to be as different as humanly possible. So your major heel is essentially, they say it all the time, and obviously he's different. He's not the same, but he is the Miz. He's their version of the Miz. But you're trying to be this kind of little bit skewed version of a guy who's probably one of the best guys at doing that ever in professional wrestling history, at playing that character. I don't think you can think of anybody off the top of my head that does it better than that guy does it. And you're going to be a knockoff version of that. Once again, you should be turning completely away from that. Still be a heel, but don't be that heel. Somebody already does that really well. And you just look like a shitty version of that thing. And like I said, it's the mistake that Impact always made. The first thing I did, I never watched an episode of Impact in my life. Never watched TNA in my life. Never saw it. As soon as we started doing this podcast and I volunteered, sacrificed myself to be the guy that was going to watch Impact. As soon as I watched it, I was like, wow, they're doing everything that WWE does. They're just doing it wrong. But they're trying to be just that show with a different name. And nobody can do it. And that's what these guys are doing now with these backstage segments and all this other crap. It just drives me crazy. It's just I want to watch wrestling every week. This shouldn't feel like a fucking job. And when I have to watch AEW, it's like, oh God, can I find something to do while I'm listening to it? Can I put this on while I clean the kitchen? Like, I can't even sit and watch it. Stardom, I can sit and watch. When AEW was good, I was sitting and watching it. I was watching it live. I was making sure at 8:00 on Wednesday night, I had snack and everything I needed upstairs in front of the TV. And I would sit down and I would watch AEW. And then that lasted, like you said, for like 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I just don't fucking care anymore. Nothing's compelling. Nothing matters. No, it's just like.
I think Jamie Hayter's compelling.
Oh, no, I agree with you.
I think the women are actually fun.
Right. But what did I just like?
One.
What did I say, though, about the women? The major storyline, the major plot line between the people that aren't the champion is not a good plot line. Right. It's kind of, It's not that original. It's just, bleh. But what's saving it is at least it's a plot line.
Right. And
if they were just taking if they were just taking the women and just throwing them in matches, it would be cool to watch. But then eventually you would just go, well, where are we going?
Right.
What are we doing? Why am I watching this? Now, Jamie Hayter versus Emi Sakura. Guess where that match belongs? That match belongs at 10:00 on a Friday night. It's fucking awesome. Right. Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm. You know when that match was on Dynamite? 5:00 because there was NBA playoffs. And that match was fucking awesome on a Friday night.
Right.
And there wasn't really much. They were just developed. And the only reason I'm saying that these matches belong in those spots is because they're not really they weren't developed storylines. Obviously, the developed storylines, in my opinion, belong in the main event on Wednesday because everything else is shitski. So I mean, it's just, I don't know. I get so fed up because I want to enjoy this, and they make it so hard. That's it.
Brandon, final thoughts?
Completely agree. I don't have any others.
There you go. I've got a thought. So as Chris was talking, my mouse wandered a bit. I just so happened to click on the cage match of Io Sky, aka Io Shirai, for her ratings. Someone gave her a 2.0. Okay, this is Io Sky, Io Shirai. This is from 2015, so back when she was still with Stardom. Good wrestler, very good performance, good looking, and full total package, but I still hate her in the past, if you know what I mean. Never forgiven until today. I prefer look her older sister Mio than this. Just waiting comment from this. Haters gonna hate. Yep, that's all I say. I speak the truth right on my chest. There you go. Right on my chest.
Dope.
Fucking Cleveland Steamer. Dump on my chest.
Wrap it in a blanket.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next week, all we got is, that's all we got, right? We got fucking AEW because the pay-per-views. Well, I guess, we can talk about the New Japan pay-per-view.
That's
we'll
this
do
weekend.
that too. That's this weekend. That we can watch live or right afterwards. The Stardom one's going to take a couple of days.
What's up with this Ric Flair documentary that dropped on Peacock? Somebody sent me a screenshot of that. One of you guys.
That was me. Oh, by the way, Peacock, dude, it was fucking awful. You guys watched it. You watched highlights. I tried to watch this live. It's constantly dropping. At one point, if I, you know how you wander on the social media, I get results. I was 5 minutes behind at one point from the live stream. Peacock blows, dude. It's fucking terrible.
Do you remember when my whole review of a WWE pay-per-view was Peacock sucks?
Yeah.
Yeah. It lost me. I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a Ric Flair doc. Chris, you gonna watch it? It's produced by WWE. Sure, I'm sure it's gonna be not slanted in any way, shape, or form.
Didn't ESPN just make one like 2 years ago?
Yeah, good one.
It's
where
gonna
they
be
made him
same
look like a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same fucking thing. Except he'll be good at the end. I went to a bar, drank 6 vodka sodas, and drank this, and I drank. Good for you, Rick. Good for you. You're a
I did see that. I drank it
good
all.
for you,
I
buddy.
drank all that. Look how cool I am.
Good for you. You've
The
managed
Peacock
to skate
original.
death.
Woo! Becoming Ric Flair. That's what it's called. He looks like $1 million in this picture. I want him to have one more match so we can actually watch him die. You know where I want him to have a match in the same arena that killed Bruiser Brody. Puerto Rico.
The arena killed him?
Well,
Someone in the arena?
Someone in there right now. No one knows who. Invader number 2. No one knows who. Perhaps Invader number 2.
In Puerto Rico, the arena was haunted. It's the trailer to his death.
Oh, okay. We're just right as we go along.
Yeah. In the shining, there is a shining star in the Caribbean, and on that star is an arena, and that arena means death.
Here's live footage of Ric Flair. We found this live footage of Ric Flair before he goes in the ring. He's rolling around shit-faced, covered in it. He's got a diaper on because he wears a diaper underneath those drawers. A fucking full-on adult diaper. I got poop first before I go out there. Dopey derpy. Woof. You think if he woos too loud, shit just shoots out the other end like at the same velocity? Brandon, seriously. All right, let's get it.
The only thing I want from Flair is one of those matches with Onita where you can buy the weapons that they use on each other.
Oh, that was
He
amazing.
doesn't have any
That
money.
would be the most fun thing.
Yeah, well, he doesn't
fund
have any
it.
money. Yeah, we'll fund it. I would
I'll
definitely.
buy
I bought-
weapons.
What did I buy? I bought,
we buy
exploding
weapons. I
barbed
forgot
wire or
about
something.
that. That's right.
Yeah, like you watch it and you can bid and be like, for $20. I forget what I bought. Something
I
that they
forget-
can use on each other.
Yeah, mine was like a taser or something. I forget what the
Set,
fuck I-
it's like $15 to watch somebody set fireworks off in his face. I'm like, yeah, sure.
And then you get tip wrestlers and they get paid that money. I'm sure Onita was taking a cut of it, but you get paid the tips. I tipped the trans wrestler. I was like, yeah, she can have my money. There you go. That was a good show. I love that show. That was great. More Onita shows, please.
I want Ric Flair to wrestle in a match where if he loses, he has like Star Trek where the Spock's brother tells him what caused them their pain.
Yes.
He learns what causes him to behave like to drink as much as he does. He's like,
I need my pain.
show me your pain. Rick, your parents don't love you.
Oh my God.
I always hated you, Rick. I'm your father, and I wished you were dead. Reed! Hi, Rick.
Where are we going? What is that?
Reed. You're the reason I'm dead.
I wonder if you announced
Banging his daughter.
Oh no. No.
He's trying to get in there. He's like, oh, Charlotte, just let me get in. Let me get a piece of it. Woo, woo.
Oh my
woo,
God.
woo.
I love you, Reed.
Talking about Garrett Reed. Died in
Garrett
Lehigh
Reed Flair.
training camp.
Garrett Reed Flair.
So we officially had Ric Flair bang his daughter this week. So if
And we also have him related to Andy Reid.
Father of the year, Andy Reid.
Father of the year, Andy Reid.
Yeah,
Father of the year, father of the decade.
I'm just going to stand up here and talk about a football game and pretend that my son didn't kill an entire family. Fuck it. Fucking Reid. Oh, God. Everybody's going to be like, it's Andy Reid. He used to be a coach here. He's a fucking piece of shit.
There you go.
Sins of the sons bleed into the father's life.
We were, like an hour after the final, at the AFC Championship game. And I was already over these fake storylines. Two brothers facing off against each other. Andy Reid used to be the coach. Give me who fucking cares? How much is the line? How much can I win on this?
Let me tell you a story real quick.
Yes.
Who was it who sang the national anthem in Philadelphia?
Anita Baker.
Anita Baker. I just couldn't remember her name. Okay. So my friend was watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
My friend has a knack, and I've pulled him aside and told him this quite a few times, right? It's not a bad thing, but it does cause me quite a bit of pain from time to time. He has a knack of talking to weirdos. He's a weirdo magnet. He doesn't pick up on it until too late. And of course, I looked at him and I said, "Hey, buddy, you're doing that thing I told you to do." He's like, "Oh, I am. Oh, God, no." And he does it like when the weirdo's about to leave. He'll spark up a conversation, and now I'm stuck with the weirdo again for another 2 hours. So he's talking to weirdo, and Anita Baker comes on. Now, we all have heard how difficult the Star Spangled Banner is to sing. Not an easy song. It's just a fucking poem. It's not a song, and it's a terrible song. I don't give a shit.
Terrible song. Awful song.
It's awful.
I hate it.
It's not meant to be a song. It's a poem. And Anita Baker probably got called, didn't have enough time to prepare, came out and missed a ton of notes in that song. Whatever. Ooh. Who gives a shit, right? I don't care. And my buddy said, "Man, Anita's missing a ton of notes here." And the creep that happened to be sitting next to him, talking to him, looked at him and said, "You think that's funny? You think it's funny my grandfather got blown to pieces?"
What?
Yes.
And he got up and laughed.
Yes, it is.
And when he told me that story, I said, "Did you look at him and go, yeah?"
Yes. Yes, it is, sir.
There's a lot of serious
I think
people
that I do.
there. And then I got, it's
Serious
wrong to
people.
call him that.
I'm a big fan of
Father
people.
here.
I'm a big fan of people that get like personally offended for jobs that other people did.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Big,
Oh man,
Patriots.
Like you find out about like all these, like you do any deep dive and you find out all these horrible things the U.S. government did in Vietnam. And their grandkid goes, you mention it, and their grandkid goes, "My grandfather fought in Vietnam." So you're sitting here drunk at the bar.
My
what the fuck do you want from me?
My grandfather died in Vietnam, fought and died in Vietnam. And you're 20, so you didn't even fucking know him.
Go ahead, Brent.
my mom, her new husband is real into like genealogy shit.
Mm.
And he figured out that like a bunch of her is it ascendants or their lineage fought in the Revolutionary War. So she like applied for, she's a daughter of the American Revolution. It's her license plate now in her car, and she like goes to these meetings. And I'm just like she's like telling me I should do it. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like I didn't do anything to deserve that. I didn't do anything. There's no pride. I don't have any pride.
What's the perk?
Just to acknowledge that you're like one of the OGs. Like I've been here. I'm just like, I just don't give a fuck.
You don't get anything out of it. Like what the fuck do I care?
You get a license plate that's sponsored by the Commonwealth that says you've been around, your family's been around. It's just I can't imagine, like to your point, I have no pride in the fact that I don't think it's not cool, but I just have no pride in it.
Like, wow, that's pretty wild.
It's
there we go.
I heard somebody talking about this the other day. It's it can be classified as you get the feeling of having virtue with doing no work.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't do anything, but I'm virtuous because look at what I have on my car. That's what that is. It's like a weird.
Yeah.
People are like that. I mean, they stand for things. It's easy to I'm a firm believer in nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about anything. They care, like, and I'm not saying like when you can't pay the gas bill, right? Your feelings for the environment will subside. Like if you're an environmentalist by nature, you want to conserve. I don't know what you would call it. I just pick that. And you're a Blue Lives Matter guy, right? And you stand for Blue Lives Matter. All of a sudden, I don't give a shit about those cops. I need to pay this fucking bill. That's how that works. Because nobody gives a shit. You're wired to care about your own survival at the end, right? So it's just like this. I don't have to do shit. I can so, you don't have to do shit. You just say a few words, and now all of a sudden you get this feeling of you're actually doing something and you're virtuous, and all that shit just gets thrown away as soon as any kind of hardship is, experienced.
I have no virtue.
I have none either.
I have zero.
My virtue is telling people I have no virtue. You have virtue in telling people that you have no virtue. That's virtue.
I'm not proud.
That's honesty. Honesty is a virtue.
That's like admitting you're an atheist shows that you actually have a belief in something.
Well, that would be you're an agnostic.
Yeah. Or I'm a what's the fuck, I can't remember. Shit, when you're a nihilist. I'm a nihilist. Well, you're not a nihilist because you believe you're a nihilist, so therefore you have a belief system, and therefore you're not a nihilist. I'm sorry.
You can't be. Eventually down the line,
someone can call you a nihilist if you say I don't believe in anything.
Somebody said the other day, claiming that you're non-binary is just another binary that you put yourself into. You're either binary or
be a trinary.
I'm like,
I'm a trinary.
I'm trinary. I'm part of the other.
Oh, good. Everybody just wants to belong, right?
Yep.
I don't care.
That's right.
I don't give a fuck anymore.
I don't care. There you go. Subscribe and follow and belong to us. Thanks for joining us this week and join us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4 wrestling. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. Brandon, Chris, I'm Jim, and we'll be back here next week with AEW talk and New Japan talk, and we won't be talking about WWE unless someone dies, maybe, or Vince stuff. But it was fun talking about WWE. Bye-bye.
Go Birds.
Go Birds!